There is a road outside the door that sometimes calls my name. When it stops shifting, thinking something about to change. Now it's either east or west, how will I know my way? Oh, it's calling, calling me from my home. From my home.
Hi everybody, this is Brad with Lost at Last Adventure Travel. Welcome to Ohio's largest public land. This is the Shawnee State Forest. This is episode 5, and this is part 2 of our soul searching series. So strap on your helmet, we're heading to southern Ohio. Welcome back to the Southern Ohio Adventure Loop. It's a beautiful mid-August day to be doing some soul searching. We got in a little late last night, so we stayed at the Shawnee State Park Lodge, which is one of 9 state-owned park lodges. The lodge offers some pretty great views of the surrounding forest, and it's just a short drive up the hill from the state park and campground. We wouldn't call it a 5-star hotel by any means, but when you're used to roughing it, anything feels like the Hilton. So we'll take State Route 125 west towards our start point for this section, the Blue Creek General Store. If you haven't seen part 1, we'll put a link in the description below. As we cross from Scioto County to Adams County, State Route 125 turns into one heck of a twisty and fun road. It has to be one of the best sections of pavement in the Buckeye State. We've just passed the intersection with Blue Creek Road, which means that we are officially back on the Southern Ohio Adventure Loop. Welcome to the Blue Creek General Store, a must-stop on this route. As the only store in town, this place is everything you need. Enjoy the convenience of purchasing all of your provisions in one stop, from snacks and drinks to bolt cutters and case knives. It's a great place to hang out with the locals and swap stories of adventures. The food is also really good. On this particular trip, I grabbed a breakfast sandwich and it was delicious. As we departed from the Blue Creek General Store, we were excited to run into Mike, a fellow adventure rider from Cincinnati, who also rides a Suzuki DR650. He was out doing a little soul searching himself. It's always nice to run into someone who has the same hobbies or passions as you do. kind of like running into a fellow football fan or hockey fan or fan of the same team. We sure don't run into too many people out on the trail, so when we do, it's always nice. Well, here's Blue Creek Road. This is another fantastic pavement section full of smooth and winding curves. It's not, however, a road that has a lot of those warning signs for curves, like the 25-mile-an-hour curve or 15-mile-an-hour curve, so just be careful when you're riding this section of road because curves can really sneak up on you. Let's take a look at the route for today's ride. The main route is highlighted here in purple. Expert sections are in red and black, and the Shawnee optional loop is in green and blue. Again, if you haven't watched part 1, the link is in the description below. We are really big fans of the Shawnee State Forest, so we're going to do the optional loop, a little bit of a hybrid of the optional loop. We'll hit the blue route to take us to Picnic Point, and then back to State Route 125. Take that westward to meet back up with the main loop at Forest Road 6. Continue on the trail through the duration of the forest, and conclude today's ride at Utah Road and State Route 73. Here's our first gravel section of the day as the main loop joins back up with the expert sections here on Sunshine Ridge Road. Welcome to the Shawnee State Forest, the largest of Ohio's state-owned public lands. Looks like we got a little debris in the roadway, but that's no match for an adventure motorcycle. In 1922, the state of Ohio purchased 5,000 acres of cleared and fire-ravaged land once inhabited by the Shawnee Indians. In that same year, land purchases started for the nearby Theodore Roosevelt Game Preserve. This initial land acquisition established what is now the Shawnee State Forest. In the 1930s, 6 civilian conservation corps camps were located right here in the forest. The CCC constructed 5 small lakes and many roads in the once inaccessible area, many of which are still in use today and enjoyed by visitors and adventure motorcycles. Since its inception, this forest, also known as the Little Smokies of Ohio, has grown to over 64,000 acres in size and is the largest of Ohio's state-owned public lands. So I found this little creek crossing here at one of the intersections, and can't pass up on the opportunity to cross a creek. And you definitely can't pass up the opportunity to turn around and do it again. This is Forest Road 2 on the Shawnee Optional Loop in Shawnee State Forest on the Southern Ohio Adventure Loop. I hope this isn't like too close up on my face. I got this whole 360 camera thing going here. So let's get riding. Ooh, just about bashed the camera onto that thing, so here we go. The Shawnee State Forest is my favorite place to go in all of Ohio. I don't know if it's just the proximity to home or the Smoky Mountains vibe or even all of the history surrounding this place. We could go into depth on all of the stories and lore surrounding this area, but we'll save that for a future episode. So from this point right here, if you want to continue with the Shawnee Optional Loop, you'll turn right. If you want to go to Picnic Point, you'll keep going straight. I turned down the wrong way and gonna turn around and head back the other way. Alright, we're back on track here on Forest Road 8, heading to Picnic Point. From the 1920s to the 1960s, the state of Ohio pushed the use of this land primarily for recreational and tourist purposes. Beginning with the Roosevelt Game Preserve, the state promoted this area to hunters who showed up in droves when the first deer seasons were established. In the 30s, the Civilian Conservation Corps built Forest Road 9, which leads up to a dramatic overlook called Picnic Point. They cleared the area and placed a picnic area in the middle of the roundabout. The view from the top of the Ohio River and Portsmouth in the distance can really give one perspective of the vastness of this area. In 1964, several Ohio newspapers ran a series called Let's Explore Ohio State Parks. The Shawnee edition featured a panoramic photograph of the view from Picnic Point and emphasized how beautiful the forest looked with its autumn foliage. Produced with the assistance of the Division of Forestry, the promotional copy read, "Within the southernmost loops of the Ohio River lies a vast wooded area known to many motoring tourists as Ohio's Little Smokies. Particularly in the fall do these hills take on the hazy blue tinge associated with the most southerly mountains of Tennessee and North Carolina. This view in the Shawnee State Forest is typical of the easily accessible area just west of Portsmouth. And if you're traveling by car, the road up is paved, so everyone can enjoy the view. Welcome to Picnic Point, 1,089 feet above sea level. We're going to stop the bike and check out the views, but we're going to take a quick commercial break. So stay tuned, we'll be right back after this message. This episode of Lost at Last is brought to you by... Hello everyone, hope you're enjoying the episode so far. If you haven't become a subscriber of the channel, please consider becoming a subscriber today. It helps us put out more awesome adventures like this one. Follow us on social media at LostAtLastADV. Visit our website, lostatlastadv.com. We hope to see you out on the trail. Thanks for your support. Lost at Last is not possible without subscribers like you. Thank you. Well, we're still a pretty new channel here, so we don't have sponsors quite yet. We just appreciate you watching. We're heading back down Forest Road 9 towards State Route 125 to join up with the main loop at Forest Road 6. So this is Forest Road 6 coming up. This is really easy to miss, so just pay very close attention to your track or your GPS when you're coming up on it. This first section of Forest 6 is very scenic, has some great switchbacks to practice all of your adventure motorcycling skills. Every June, the Southern Ohio Forest Rally takes place right here on Forest Road 6. All the rally cars scream through here, and the likes of Travis Pastrana and several other well-known rally racers participate in the race every year. Coming up now on a couple of great stops here on Forest Road 6. First is coming up on the right at an elevation of 1,241 feet. Has a great overlook of all the trees and the surrounding areas. And right next to it here on the left is the Copperhead Fire Tower. Built in 1924 for a cost of just $1,100. It was the first fire tower in Ohio's state forest. Obviously, before aircraft became a big thing, fire towers were used to observe the trees and keep things under control. The last fire tower was retired in 1978. You can climb up to the top and get some great views of the forest, and I would certainly recommend a trip at sunset. Really awesome things to see. Also, throughout the forest, you'll find these narrow, paved roads. These are just great to cruise down and take your mind off things. You do have to watch out for some green moss you'll find in some of the shaded parts. They get real slick. I actually came across a UPS driver who had slid into the ditch after getting a little too close to the edge and hit one of those moss patches, so just always keep your eye on the road. If you're an equestrian, up here on the left you'll find the Bear Creek Horse Camp, which was also the site of one of the Civilian Conservation Corps camps. This campground is open to horse riders only. That's just about gonna wrap up the Shawnee State Forest section of the Southern Ohio Adventure Loop. At over 64,000 acres of land, the forest has adventure for everyone to enjoy. And not just by adventure motorcycle, you can get your car through most of this forest. Believe me, we've done it. And this is the small creek crossing here on Utah Road. It's a pretty easy, shallow creek crossing, but we'll take our time like we always do. And as we wrap up part 2 of our 3-part series here on the Southern Ohio Adventure Loop, we at Lost at Last just want to say thank you so much for joining us. And remember, adventure travel was made for everyone. And we'll see you out on the trail.